Not every soldier who shaped the American Revolution has a statue. Most of them came home, went back to their farms, and let the history move on without them. But the ground here in the Milton Cemetery holds a man who was present at almost every defining moment of the war. From the first shots outside Boston, to the winter at Valley Forge, to the day the British finally left New York. This is the story of Joseph Vose. Joseph Vose was born in Milton in 1738. He was the eldest brother in a large, tightly knit family. The Voses were a Milton institution, deep roots, many branches. When the war came, they didn't send one man, they sent several. In the spring of 1775, Joseph was commissioned as a major in General William Heath's Mass Regiment. He was 36 years old, not a young idealist, a man who had already built a life and chose to risk it. Serving alongside him were his brothers, Captain Elijah Vose and Lieutenant Bill Vose, a family at war together. On July 21st, 1775, Vose distinguished himself on a raid on Great Brewster Island in Boston Harbor, an early aggressive strike against British positions. His superiors noticed. His promotion to lieutenant colonel was backdated to July 1st. The Army was already trying to keep up with him. In the reorganization of January 1776, he was named lieutenant colonel of the 24th Continental Regiment, and he marched north into Canada. A brutal, failed campaign fought in winter against smallpox as much as the British. Most of the men who went north didn't come back whole, but Vose made it back. By December of 1776, he was at Peekskill, New York, moving to join Washington's main army. He was commanding a single composite unit, the remnants of 3 separate regiments stitched together from what the Canada campaign had left behind. In the reorganization of 1777, Vose was named lieutenant colonel of the 1st Massachusetts Regiment. When its colonel, John Patterson, was promoted to brigadier general that April, Vose stepped up. He was now a colonel. His brother Elijah joined him as lieutenant colonel. Brother Bill stayed on as paymaster. The Vose family was running a regiment. The regiment was part of John Glover's brigade at Saratoga, holding the American right flank in the battle that changed the entire war. When the British surrendered at Saratoga in October of 1777, it was the moment France decided that the Americans might actually win. Vose's men were on the line that held. Then came Valley Forge. Vose led the 1st Massachusetts south for the winter of 77 to 78. And we know that winter meant cold, hunger, and the boots that fell apart. The men who died not in battle, but in camp. Vose stayed. In June of 1778, he fought at Monmouth, New Jersey. The following month, he marched east for the operations at Newport, Rhode Island. By the summer of 79, he was back in the Hudson Highlands. Year after year, campaign after campaign, Vose was simply there. In February of 1781, General Heath handpicked the 8 eldest, most seasoned companies of the Massachusetts line and formed them into an elite battalion. He put Joseph Vose in command. That unit was attached to the Marquis de Lafayette's force and marched south into Virginia for the Yorktown campaign, the last major campaign of the war. At Yorktown, Vose's battalion served in the Muhlenberg's brigade of Lafayette's Light Infantry Division. When Cornwallis surrendered on October 19, 1781, Joseph Vose was there. He had been present from the very first summer of the war to its final decisive end. After Yorktown, the war wound down slowly. Vose stayed in command through the reorganization of 1783. On September 30th of that year, he was promoted to Brevet Brigadier General. And on November 25th, 1783, Evacuation Day, he led his unit into New York City as the last British soldiers departed. He came back home to Milton, back to his farm, back to the life he had set down in 1775, and somehow managed to reclaim. He died in 1816. He He was 77 years old. Joseph Vose fought in nearly every major theater of the Revolutionary War: Boston, Canada, Saratoga, Valley Forge, Monmouth, Newport, Yorktown, New York. He did it alongside his brothers with men of Massachusetts for 8 years without stopping. He never became a famous name, but the country that exists, the one that held together long enough to become something, held partly because men like Joseph Vose refused to let it fall apart. He's buried here in the town he left to fight for, and he came back when it was over.